Hey, I'm Bill Wallace from Hope Church, and the question that you guys wanted me to answer this week was should Christians engage in politics in our day today? Or should we just avoid that arena altogether? Haha, don't want to start easy, do we? Okay, so great question, and a tough one, and an impossible one, and all those things. But it was interesting. I just saw that there was a study done asking people what they were looking for if they were going to be in an argument around politics. What were they looking for if they're going to be an argument around faith conversation? Did they want the person to try and convince them? Were they going to try and convince the other person? Would they do this or that? And again, the majority of people are just like, just avoid the conversation altogether. But think about how the question was asked. If you're going to be in this argument, what are you looking for? And that makes sense because that's what we have devolved to. Just about every conversation that we have is that it's an argument. It's us trying to convince other people of what we think. It's us thinking that they're so wrong and we need to convince them of our way of thinking. And I get that. I am as guilty of that as anybody. And most of us are. We all think we're right. We think that if people just thought like we thought and did things the way that we did things, the world would be a better place. Hallelujah, kumbaya, it would be perfect. But that's not it, of course. God made us diverse. God made us all kinds of different ways. That's the beauty of God's creation. And so let's ask a different question. Instead of, are you looking for an argument about this? Would you be willing to have a conversation about this? And what is your goal? You, the person who wants to start the conversation or maybe be in the conversation, what's your goal coming out of that? Because that's the thing. If our goal, when we as Jesus followers, is to be in a conversation around politics, and if our goal is to make sure that people see our point and come to our way of thinking, we have, in my opinion, already lost. We've already blown it. That's not the point. I don't know if it ever was. I certainly think it's not the point anymore. People are tired of that. They're exhausted from that. I am. I can tell when people are just in a conversation with me in order to, one, see if I'm on their side, and then two, if I'm not, to convince me why I need to be. And again, if those two things kind of get sussed out and it's clear that this conversation isn't going to go the way that we're wanting to, then yeah, people are just, well, I'm just done. I'm just not going to engage. That's the problem. Now we are incapable of having a conversation with someone who doesn't already agree with us without it devolving into an argument. So, from a politics standpoint, man, as Jesus followers, there's all kinds of things where I think it's really important for us to engage in those conversations. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of people that, again, are arguing, are forcing issues, are trying to make other people see their way. We have something to share. Jesus has all kinds of amazing things to share about the issues of our day from a political standpoint. We can talk about immigration and welcoming the stranger. We can talk about safety within borders. We can talk about speaking up for those who have no voice. Jesus does that all the time. But what's our goal when we do it? Is our goal to somehow help people see that Jesus did things the right way and they better come to his way of thinking, at least as we interpret it? I think that's the rub. It's really hard. But I'm wondering if we as Jesus followers can start to model the idea that sometimes the best part of a conversation is that it leads to a relationship, not to change thinking. That the best part of a conversation is learning something new, something that you didn't already know or think before. Not that that necessarily changes your thinking either, just that there was a good opportunity to work together within the process. If we can start to do that, maybe we can bring back that civil discourse and do so as Jesus followers. I think that's right now, people would think that honestly, Christians are some of the worst at these conversations, and we could be the best if we have the right attitude as we're going into the conversation. I don't know. Maybe it's just too hard. Maybe we're too polarized. Maybe we're too tribal. Maybe we're too angry about everything right now. But if that means that we are all just giving it up, well, then how is anything going to get better? It's worth the risk, I think, if we can somehow figure out a way to engage in conversation, in relationship building, without a clear, negative, ulterior motive above and beyond that. If we can do that, well, maybe we can start to talk about politics and even religion a little bit more again. Thanks for watching. Be interested in your feedback on that, and can't wait to try this again with another question. All right, bye-bye.